Hello, everybody. I'm back, and I can't fix that because it changes resolution right there, so I can't do it. But we're playing The Land of Pain today, and of course, warning. I'll put this warning at the. I'm gonna screenshot that image, and put that warning at the beginning of my own video for this. And Jesus Christ, this is pretty damn loud, like, as a game. But there's no... Something I don't like about this game so far is that if you're looking at the settings, there are no audio settings, so you can't change things like this basic sound level of the game. So I had to just guess on the side. So yeah, no. So this is a horror game, based... It says it's Lovecraftian. We'll find out. As a fan of Lovecraft's work myself, we'll see how this goes. And of course, over here you have some info on it. I got it at like $2 on Steam. It looked like people weren't necessarily giving it the best of reviews, but this is a horror game, and we'll see how this goes. And I'm hoping that there's not a whole lot of cutting and editing to do in this, but it's like, if it's... Oh, Deutsch. Ja. Ich spreche. Ja, ein bisschen. Anyways, it's like, I'm hoping it's not one of those, like, Slender Man, like, look for the bits and gubbins, because that's gonna be a while. We'll find out when we get in. You want to start a new game? Yes, I do. So, here's how it goes. See, I'm a big lover of horror. Most of my... Well, I wouldn't say most of my family. My brother and I are both lovers of horror. My personal preference is ghost stories. And, of course, bizarro, sort of Lovecraftian, cosmic and existential horror. Hence being a fan of Lovecraft. But, alright, here we go. C to crouch, space to jump, left shift to run. Oh, god damn it. Okay. There are gonna come points where you have to run in the game. So it's immediately... Oh, hey, you have a shadow. So you have a player model. Let's see. Where the fuck are we coming from? I guess up there? Let's find the invisible wall. Yeah, I guess that's the wall. So I guess we're coming from there somehow. Not sure why we're here though, I guess. It's very nice. It's very nice though. I'm liking it. So I have my sound in my own headphones or earphones pretty relatively low, because while I do enjoy horror, I wouldn't say I'm scared easily, but I know I'm susceptible to some of the horror tricks. Some of the things about, like, loud noises and sudden images, which there's that warning at the beginning. That's what that warning at the beginning was about. So, yeah, it's, let's check this out. Okay. There's no story thus far, which is an issue. Because if you were just to describe this as Lovecraftian, I was expecting there to be a story. Like, because it's one of those misconceptions about Lovecraft, is that whole, like, oh, you have no idea what's going on sort of thing. It's like, well, no. The character doesn't really understand what's happening. Oh, press J to open your journal. This is probably what I'm looking for. I wonder if I can fall off the edge. I'm not going to test it, but... Back to the old cabin. Finally, after a 2-hour hike through the woods, I arrived. Autumn is approaching, and there's already a chill to the air. But boy, is it beautiful out here. From where I am now, I can see the old cabin down at the bottom of the valley. Dad was in love with nature. Always said I took after him in that respect. I'll make sure I look after the place for him. I plan to spend the night there, then leave at dawn to start the hike. There's a breathtaking view from the top, just where the big cross is situated, near the precipice. It always makes me feel at one with nature, just what I need right now, after the past few months. What cross? I wonder. What the... 19, huh? What is this? You know, I've actually seen things like this somewhere. It looks like a firing emplacement, which means that this would be happening in Europe. Because to my knowledge, I don't think we have a whole lot of these in the States, and this looks pretty old. It also looks a little bit like a face. I just kind of freaked myself out a little bit looking at it. But I guess we can see the cabin. We should be able to see the cabin from up here. I don't know. I didn't mess around with the graphics because... You know, I'm going to mess around with the graphics. Give me a second. You know, I'll live with this. This is a medium. I can live with that. Looks a little bit better already. Apparently I can see the cabin from up here. I'm not spotting it. Maybe some of you, if anyone's out there looking at, watching this, maybe they can spot it. I don't know. Apparently this game's not that long. I think I'll try and get through about half of the time I saw sort of put up as how long this game is. I'll try and do this game in halves. Half the session right now. And half the session later. But no, it's sort of a... Anyway, as I was saying, it's sort of a misconception about Lovecraft is this whole idea of not knowing what's going on. For the most part, while the characters will admittedly not really know 100% what's going on to them, they generally speaking, it's generally, in Lovecraftian writing, you set up who the narrator is. Well, some of the better stories, the setup is very sort of not in your face, but it's very expository. It's very sort of like, my name is this, and this is who I am, or this is who we're following right now. And, you know, even if it's just like a couple of paragraphs of, I went down there because I'm a reporter, and, like, even if it doesn't give a name, it's like, I went down there because I'm a reporter, and I'm writing a new article for the newspaper, and so on and so forth. It's like, you know pretty much from the get-go of the story who you are, or at least who the narrator is. Like, there are some where it's unclear who the narrator is, but those are presented very much like folktales, where it's like, long ago in a land called this is the thing that happened, sort of thing, right? Now I'm just kind of rambling and lecturing about Lovecraft. There's a bunch of firewood. Left mouse button to interact with objects. So I need enough firewood in the cabin to keep me warm for a while. Okay, how do you know that? But how do you know? Oh, I thought that was just going to be, like, rendered as a square for no reason. It's like, no. It's not a perfect square. But it's still, like... It's still sort of... I don't know. I don't know how to describe that. I don't have the knowledge of sort of game and graphic design to know how exactly to describe that. But... Oh, another general rule about Lovecraft that I think a lot of people miss, especially if they don't actually read a lot of his work, is that it's not random. Nothing random really happens. It's not like a lot of like Western ghost stories where it's like, oh, you just walked into this cabin and this cabin was haunted and now you're cursed, la 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 la, right? It's like, no. There are always, while it seems at first to be sort of random, like, I went to this town called Innsmouth because it's where my family's from, and then I discovered fish people, right? And it's like, that seems kind of random. But at the same time, over the course of the story, it will explain to you that the reason that that the character is experiencing what they're experiencing is all to do with either choices that were made beyond them, outside of them, that have been forced on them, or by choices that they themselves have made. Like, for instance, one of the closest ones is the Music of Eric Zan, which is one of my favorite stories. And it's basically it's told from the perspective of this guy living in a hotel. We don't really have them these days, but if you think about a bed and breakfast, but you live there permanently, like on a more permanent basis, they're live-ins, as opposed to just I'm renting. Like, it's like renting a room. It's exactly like renting a room, right? But they were more common. I think they were more commonly like apartments. I guess it's what your modern day apartment, or at least what became the modern day apartments. And I don't really like this sort of terrain. Like, why? Like, there's parts that seem really maintained, and then parts that are like, no, this wasn't maintained at all. It's like this right here. You'd have thought that they'd put like a couple little steps or something right there, so that you could get back out. And it's like, yeah, I can get back out, but like, it doesn't fit, because this little fence here looks really well maintained, and it looks too maintained for there to have not been some steps here. But now I'm getting weird and nitpicky. But no, in the Music of Eric Zan, and it's from the perspective of this guy living there, and he meets this musician that lives upstairs, and he's always playing wild, crazy music on his violin, like almost every night. And all the other residents are like, no, don't leave him alone. His name's Eric Zan, leave him alone. But the guy ends up making friends with him, and all this stuff happens, and he ends up there during one of the nights that he was going to be making this sort of nuts, crazy music. And he kind of witnesses like spirits coming in through the window, and Eric going absolutely nuts on the violin, like, and it was kind of crazy. But at the same time, we got this sense that there was something going on with Eric. It wasn't like, and that the narrator, the person who writing it all down, had just sort of happened upon it, and having chosen to stay too late, because Eric would always say, like, because my memory of the story was that Eric would tell the narrator, don't stick around, go, leave, and then the narrator stuck around anyway, because he's like, well, obviously you seem to be in some distress. I don't like that. I don't like this. Is this here? This is the thing I don't like. It's like, what? Why? What is this about? If I can hear myself, like, I can hear the feet, like, tapping on the floor as I move around. Bucket. I should get the cabin heated first. Fireplace. It's cold in here. I guess I should light the fire. I got the fireplace ready last time, so I need to find some matches. Wait. So you're back here for some reason? There's only one left. Okay. Fetch some water for tonight. I think I left a bucket around here somewhere. Alright, so is this your cabin? Is that the idea? Because they're, at least in America, I know these things exist sort of out in the Midwest, or at least they're said to exist. Almost as a rumor. Here it is. The well isn't far from here. It's the end of the path. What path this? I really don't see a path here. You can press H to receive a tip from the main character. Only use if you're really stuck. I'm good. Unless you're purposefully obfuscating where the well is so that I learn how to use the H key. Because I'm not going to do it. I'm just going to wander around the area. So while I rant and... I'll rant and rave. Right. Looks dirty. Who knows what nasties are living there. I'll rant and rave while I look for this well. But in the States, at least, we have... or at least I've heard that there are... Oh, it must be this one. Wait, what? Water looks dirty. Oh, okay. That's this one. But there are like cabins and stuff people will set up out in the sort of the wilderness and almost the wilds, if you will. The waterworks system has been laying disused for years now. It's locked, but I don't need to go in there. Oh, sorry, it's not this path. But and it's sort of just like said that if you go out into like the forest and stuff, that there's cabins. You occasionally find little cabins like this around that some of the locals will use and maintain, but they'll use them during, say, like hunting season, where if you are hunting and then there's like a storm or someone gets hurt, you can go into those cabins and they'll have like some food, maybe some medical supplies, some like a radio or something to call for help, all sorts of things. And people will come around every so often to like check up on it, maintain it. At least that's a rumor I've heard. I don't know if there's things like that in Europe. But see, more of these destroyed houses. Or not more of these destroyed houses. A destroyed house. I don't really like this. Because it's out in the middle of fucking nowhere. So like, who builds a stone house where there's no evidence of other inhabitation? I mean, I guess there's the well, but it's kind of it. Anyway, so got some bucket of water. There, I filled it. This should be enough to drink and have a wash tonight. I should probably also, I'm gonna also up the sensitivity on this. Hold on. Deadly. Apply. Yes. Resume. Alright, that'll do. So we don't need to run. But yeah. I have to say, like, I really like this. What the fuck? The hell is that thing? My thoughts exactly. What is... Don't want to touch the object? I kind of don't want to. I kind of want to... Hold on. I kind of wonder. What happens if I just ignore it? Just come in here. Open the door. Get on the floor and pretend like the dinosaur doesn't exist. Alright. Door. No? I see feet. Oh shit, I have legs. Check that out. Though I always stand with my left foot forward. Because my left foot's my best foot. I'm gonna have to touch the thing. Gonna have to touch the butt. God damn it. Alright. Touch the butt. Like how I suddenly don't have a reflection. Okay, the land of pain. See, this is where, like, I'm hoping, if this is where the Lovecraftian stuff starts, I'm hoping that there is some explanation along the way that, like, this area's always had something weird going on, right? Like, it's always been a weird area. And so knowing your character fully aware and knowing that weird shit happens in the area has chosen to touch an object he probably shouldn't have touched. Thus, by basically the weird shit that's about to happen to us, the horrible weird shit, is entirely of our own making. Because I really hope this doesn't end up being that whole, like, it was random, something out of your control, you're never gonna know what it is. It's like, no. Even in the stories that are the closest to that, and I can't even think of one that's... Anyway, Jesus Christ, what the fuck? Wait, what? Cage. What? Yeah. What's going on? Where am I? What was that thing I touched? Why did you touch it? Right. Okay. There's some large cables connected to this strange platform. They're coming from the ground. Secure with a chain. I'm stuck. Oh. These huge structures that are emitting a huge amount of energy. How would you know that? I mean, like, I guess you could kind of see it with the whole electrical thing going on. Secure with the chain. I'm stuck. Cables connected to the strange platform. They're coming out of the ground. These structures that are emitting a huge amount of energy. Is there something else around here? Not seeing anything else to look at. Can I, like... Oh, there we go. Rock. Yeah. Yes. Okay, there we go. Gate. Break ourselves out. Okay. Okay. Yes, we have a new journal entry. An unknown place. What was that spherical thing? It seemed like something otherworldly, not man-made. As soon as I touched it, I saw a bright white light. The world around me began to warp and bend in on itself, and I felt fear, an indescribable fear, unlike the ever... Slow down. Unlike I've ever felt before. When, for a moment, it felt as though I were leaving my body, the terror. It was so strong. My senses abandoned me. When I opened my eyes, I couldn't believe what I was seeing. I was in a place I'd never been before, trapped in a cage. Fortunately, I managed to escape, but what happened? Where am I? How to recognize this place? I need to find help. Practicing my acting. Not exactly. Shut type seems to be locked from the inside. Whoa. While I'm not exactly an actor, I am in fact a theater major, so I figure I should probably give it a go. Nothing else. What is this thing? Can I check this out? I want to open it. Huh. Okay. Anything around here that I missed? No? Alright. Okay. I'm gonna catch my death and pneumonia out here in this rain. Though I do enjoy that the path that they're sending me on seems to be rather large. I was about to say, like, if that was an invisible wall I just ran into. No, I think I was running into some sort of stump. Like, I appreciate that. That it feels very large. Which is, in fact, a Lovecraftian theme of being something small and insignificant surrounded by something larger than you that makes you small and insignificant. So let's see, let's go ahead down this path here. Okay. Okay. I'm curious as to what's happening, though. It's not exactly... Maybe it's because I'm... Jesus. Never mind. I was about to say maybe it's because I'm talking to you guys that I'm not as creeped out, but I'm, like, slowly getting creeped out as I walk down this road, because I'm, like... It feels like I keep seeing stuff with the corner of my eyes on, like, the corner of the edges of the screen and stuff, but I'm sure it's just sort of the, I don't remember what it's called, but humans psychologically have a, have this thing we do where we look for familiar shapes and then assign them things. It's why people will see faces and everything. They'll say like, "Oh, look, those rocks look like they're smiling," or "This tree looks like it has a face in it." It's because psychologically our brains do that. We actually like recognize those patterns, and things that look like faces or animals, especially humans, trigger our brains. I guess you could say it that way. Trigger our brains. I'm sure I'm gonna have to run around into these big old fucking things at some point. That's probably why they're so massive. Sound design's pretty good though. It's kind of putting me on edge. I'm liking it. But let's see. Okay, it looks like there's something. Yep. Electrical lines. Okay. There's light on in that house. I should ask for help. Yes, you should. But before that, I'm gonna go somewhere entirely different. It's locked, there's no way to open it. Probably some sort of sacrifice. Or something. Not entirely sure. Though I like that they haven't immediately gone for this whole, like, oh, look at all this alien architecture sort of stuff. Because, like, that whole stuff, all that stuff is kind of a minority of what Lovecraft wrote. And the reason I keep bringing up Lovecraft is because the game description itself on the store page actually describes this as a Lovecraftian horror game. I don't like that. But, okay. Scared of my own shadow.